June 2nd, 2026. Looking for a roll call, please.
Joe Harris,
Present.
Enrique Ortiz,
Here.
Emily Drilling,
Here.
Michael Jimenez, absent.
At this time, we're going to have the pledge of allegiance. Please stand. Position, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3, the community participation forum. And do you know if they want to speak today or?
Okay. I'm Casimira Salazar. I go by Casi. I'm the president of El Comité de Guadalupe. And I've been participating with the senior citizens since 2022. And I have some of the people that go to the senior citizens all the time. And we would like to know why our friend was fired and let go because he was really a wonderful person, worked a lot with all of us in different activities. He was very reliable. And we just would like to know why
Thank you.
he was gone.
At this time, our commission doesn't have that answer. I don't know, Mr. Julio, you want to address it at all or later on?
So the reason for the dismissal cannot be discussed publicly.
Okay. We can't discuss it at public at this time. Thank you though for your questions. Anybody else want to say anything?
We appreciate.
So are you talking the senior, like the programs at the senior center? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So any fun or programs that are going on at the senior center or were going on at the senior center, they should not have stopped. So the whole senior meals and all the activities that were going on there should not have ended. Okay. 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 So what programs are you looking for or what were going on in place at the time? Okay.
Excuse me, Doña, my name is Enrique Ortiz, and I know Unfu pretty well. It was a shock for us to get dismissed. As far as we knew, we didn't know he was actually doing that all for you guys. I know. Right. So specifically, you guys had an exercise class with him, right? You're right. No, I understand that. I just kind of want to know.
Not with him?
You get
Yolanda? With Yolanda?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Just the exercise.
We know that.
and of course the meals. And was there anything else?
She said field trip, yeah,
Huh? Crafts?
crafts and a field trip possibility.
Okay. Right. And field trip. That's a good question. Right. Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm asking these questions, just to kind of. Right. When was that? Right, right. No, I understand. I'm just trying to. Okay, okay. No, what I'm trying to the reason. Well, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying. What I'm trying to ask is, I'm trying to get a somewhat of an idea of list of things that were going on, and I don't know if there's no funding for it anymore. That's why it stopped, or I know that's why I'm trying to ask these questions. Mhm. Mhm.
When did that happen? Because that hasn't happened in 2 years. The Guadalupe Senior Center has been funded by the city's general fund for the last 2.5 years. Okay, there has been no money from grants or otherwise funding the senior center. Okay, the van had disappeared in 23 when Los Amigos, whatever they're called, whenever they left. Yeah, okay, so that was over 2 years ago. So those are not programs that were in place in the last 12, 14, 16 months. So if there's programs or something that were in place that need to continue, that have been halfway recent, then let's discuss that. But if it's things from 2, 3, 4 years ago, we can't fix that stuff, right?
So ladies, I know that there's been a lot of changes. Commissioner Ortiz mentioned, it was a lot of information, very quickly that we were provided as well. But thinking about moving forward and how we can continue to support you, it sounds like there was a lot of interest in continuing crafts. Is that right? And you had some success with Yolanda, and that was something. I think that may be something just to help ensure that our discussion is productive. Is if we can hear from you some of the things that you would like to see going forward, it could be something that we could work as a commission to determine what may be feasible with our current financial constraints, and then where we may be able to help advocate for volunteers or other resources for you. So if we start at that point of talking about the things that you really enjoyed, we have crafts. What are some of the other things that you liked that you would like to see in the future, potentially? A trip?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Field
Okay.
trips.
So it sounds like an opportunity to be able to. Okay. So an opportunity to be able to get out and potentially visit some neighboring areas. That's something that you would find value in.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So
good.
hi, ladies. Okay.
No. No, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
No, no. I have my in-laws. They visit the senior center Yeah, and I, we talk about, my wife and I talk about it all the time, and it's a good way for you guys, people in this community to get together and keep your mind stimulated conversation. I know it's very, very valuable. That's why I just wanted to. Like I said, I'm glad you came, and we're gonna get on it, and definitely give some recommendations to the city council and get something done as soon as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right. Okay, yeah. Mhm. Okay. No.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you coming out. I know that it is such a critical function to be able to get together and be together. And you've given us a lot of really great information to understand what's important to you. Nobody knows what's more important to you than you all, knowing that, opportunity to come together, the birthdays, the potlucks. And as Enrique mentioned, an opportunity for us as a commission to come back together as we are in a transitional state to be able to make recommendations to city council. And then ultimately, they're the opportunity to be able to determine what that looks like going forward. But we really do appreciate all of the information you have been able to provide today. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's another good one. Find volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm glad.
Well,
Appreciate that.
we live, and we'd like you to keep doing as much as you can. And we're going to try to see if we can help out as much as we can also.
Yeah.
We also have like crafts, field trips, exercise, instructor from Hancock. Coffee.
Cake.
Water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a place to feel at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really happy you guys came out, and I really hope that the council kind of hears about this and sees what you guys came here for, and I'm sure they'll really. Yeah. Okay.
No, thank you for coming.
Absolutely. It's what community is about, coming out and having your voice heard. And so thank you, ladies. I know it's not easy always at the end of the day to come out and speak in a public forum like this, but we really appreciate each and every one of you for coming out and taking the time and having your voice heard, because that's how we know, what are the issues and how can we make recommendations to make it better. So thank you for everyone who made time today to come out.
I really appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that was item number 3. Any comments or questions about that?
I'm just kind of glad they did come, and now we know we're aware of this.
Information, yeah.
'Cause I did not know it was that,
I was wondering if the field trip was gonna be like, because they was going to learn horseback riding too.
Oh.
I don't know that one.
He was planning on doing the horsebacks too.
Oh, because he had horses. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'll go, oh, field trip. I bet-
Maybe feed them or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
So not getting into the specifics of the circumstances surrounding, the employment changeover over the last couple individuals, but how are we communicating to various groups that changes have occurred?
In which aspect? Because for you guys, it was the notification via email.
Right.
And then me being here just kind of bridge that gap.
Mhm.
The senior center operations and stuff are still continuing.
Right, right.
Okay.
We just refilled their coffee supply Friday, so I don't know why they didn't have coffee. Things like that.
Who's in charge of it? Who?
Just Cynthia's over there right now.
Oh, it's Cynthia.
Okay.
Yeah. The water, they're not gonna get water back because that's a funds issue.
Mhm.
We did put a water filter on the water system there. So they do have water. So, you know, activities are still continuing.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
As far as general recreational stuff that was going on, like things that involved facility rentals, things like that, they're no longer taking place. We don't have a building attendant. We're not going to hire a building attendant. So we can't fund those items.
Yeah.
Outside activities, park rentals, things like that, full bore. Let's do
Okay.
it. That stuff's all still good to go. So anything that was currently going, we're still doing pottery. They're cooking clay right now. So none of that stuff got halted. And I think she's got 2 more burns or whatever they're called.
Mhm.
Whitney and I are graduates of the,
No, firings.
Yeah. we are graduates
Fire.
of the Guadalupe
Yeah.
Pottery.
So
Academy.
so those things are still going.
Mhm.
I think you know, we're not gonna stop the volleyball, the Friday basketball. I think you had a question about, like, I think judo or
Yes, judo.
BJJ, I don't know, something.
Judo.
Yeah, so whatever, you know, if there's gonna be an activity that a commissioner is gonna be present at,
Hmm.
we're not gonna cancel that activity.
Okay.
But if there is no commissioner president and we don't have staff that can, you know, we can't. Before, I know when there was the initial transition before Tara and Anise,
Niece and Hannah.
I know that like public works people were backfilling as building attendant part-time, and we just can't afford that salary right now.
Yeah.
So to place a staff member into that position, like, we just can't do it. You know, if we had people that wanted to volunteer that had facility access, like you guys should be granted already, that's a different story. But to just, like, you know, we just can't do it. We can't support it. So that's kind of where we're at on the transition with programs.
Okay.
Thank you. We kind of probably hit some of the future agenda items, but we'll go to item number 4, consent calendar. Or do we have, no, we don't have anything to. No minutes, okay.
Yeah.
That's right, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's good then.
So there's no minutes. Okay, so we're on future activities. Let's move down to junior giants.
Okay. Well, I was trying to hold off because the area rep was gonna try to make it.
We can table it.
Yeah, if we could give him.
You want to move it after Poetry Jam?
Yes,
Give it a couple minutes.
that sounds good.
So there was talks before about doing an adult softball league.
Mhm.
So I don't know what kind of feedback you guys have been getting. I know I get asked all the time, like, are we gonna do a softball team? So that's just something to kind of keep in mind, that we should probably try to keep going. I mean, get the adults involved in something.
We probably need.
Um,
Historically, we had one year that we actually got a few teams, and that was when Hannah was here. And then when Anise was here, tried to get off the ground again, and very similar comments, like everyone's asking about it. But then when it came time to register, we've not had great success over the last couple of years. So not, or very last minute, and not saying that we shouldn't try, but I do think that it's important to really temper our expectations on, is it 1 or 2 people with a very loud voice that like softball, or is it truly a community that wants to sign up for it? Because we just haven't had consistent, not saying they won't sign up, but when it comes time, we've not seen the team sign up. So I don't know if that's something from like a marketing perspective or how we get the word out. But outside of that 1 year, we really haven't had great luck with getting a softball league off the ground.
But the games were pretty packed though.
Yeah,
A
we had
lot of
good
people were there.
attendance.
It was a big deal. So
Okay.
it was great to see.
It didn't, when they did it, do you know if they did, you know, men's, women's, co-ed?
It's co-ed.
Co-ed.
It's co-ed.
Co-ed, did they charge per team?
They did, yes.
Okay, so
The city actually won the tournament that year. There's a trophy somewhere around here.
Oh.
But it was really good. It was well attended. We had like the snack bar open, a DJ.
There were food trucks too at one time.
Yeah, it was a good time, but since that there wasn't a lot of teams though, but since that one year, the field conditions I think continue to be something that maybe doesn't draw a lot of people here because there was rocks in the dirt that became a potential lose your eye issue and some gopher holes. And so I think the outside teams, once they saw the field conditions, maybe decided it wasn't safe enough for them to play.
Oh,
The
okay.
field's taken care of.
So
Oh.
maybe that would be something to kind of start marketing now to see if we get any bites
Yeah.
Yes.
to kind of see if it's worth pursuing. Okay. Yeah, and the new
Yeah.
field, because the new field's, man,
Mhm.
but at least the infield's primo.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think marketing that, and then like if we are going to do signups, hold a firm date just so it doesn't drag on forever. If people are like where it's not like
Yeah.
2 months of, oh, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to sign up, because the umpires were the other thing. I think there was a continuity list somewhere that had the head umpire, and it was one gentleman that ended up reffing or umping, whatever,
Umpiring.
all this stuff. But they did it was a good turnout and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was great to see. It was good to see.
So do you think if volleyball, if softball was pursued, would it be like a tournament style or like an actual rec league?
They tried both options previously, and it was a rec league before with a championship at the end. I don't know.
Yeah, because it was a championship. I remember the
don't
championship
remember the
game.
tournament. Was there a tournament?
It was at the very end. They did a
the playoffs.
tournament. It was like playoffs kind of.
Okay.
I think we've had success in both type of approaches. The nice thing about a tournament is you don't need people to sign up for like 6 or 8 weeks. You just get them that one weekend. And when there's a lot of other competing things going on, it might be nice just to get a few teams that would be interested. But the league is nice too, because you kind of build that community of people coming out.
It seems like as far as game standpoint, the only like bad factor would be the fact that there's no lights out there. So games have to be pre-sunset,
Yeah.
so that kind of becomes an issue. So you're looking at like multiple games a week versus one night with 3 games or something like that, because Tuesday, Thursday softball versus
Right now it's kind of long days, so it's usually not
Yeah.
too bad. Not too bad.
okay. So all right, so we'll look into that.
I think
then.
it worked. They had like they scheduled the one for a different day, did they? It's not-
Yeah. And then Saturdays was or maybe it was even Sundays. Do you remember, Joe, when the
It was
tournament?
Saturday.
Yeah.
think
It was
so.
fun though. I think it's worth pursuing, potentially as an option, but just having a hard cutoff date and being able to articulate like, hey, people are saying they want softball, but if you don't vote with your feet and sign up, we can't continue to offer it. And if it didn't go this year, it would be the 3rd year in a row that we haven't been able to get it off the ground.
Okay. Well, we got a field now, so
Hey, it
the
might
only
be our
thing
year
stopping
in
us now is us,
2026.
right?
I hope so.
Okay.
Well, we have the wrong. Oh, okay. Backwards, okay. It's weird.
Oh, I'm ready for this.
Oops, I didn't do this. Sounds good. We'll be glad to see the softball go again. Item C, drop in volleyball and basketball. It's still going on. Thank God.
Yeah, if I could just get some clarification on times, so that I know, because what I've been doing is telling the fire department, like, hey, can you guys do a walkthrough at,
They tell
at this
me.
time or whatever, so.
Yes. Wednesday volleyball is 5:30 to 9. And basketball is 6 o'clock to 9.
Oh, okay.
And if there's like a lot of people, we usually go a little longer. Like
Okay.
it's time to see everybody standing there. Joey, do we have to go home?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. So yes, I don't want you to go out, do anything wrong in town. So you get your energy right here. And that's been going great.
And judo, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 9. Yes. So right now we don't even want to advertise yet because we're limited in room. So we have about 8 people signed up, but we're in the process of to figure out another mat, which is, it will be like a 40 by 40 size. So that would be able to fit at least another 20 more, 20, about 20 more. And we're starting with adults, and then eventually, probably the plan is, due to people's scheduling, we're probably gonna have the adult class and we call it the seniors, juniors and seniors, class at the same time. So yeah, but the plan is to definitely have the youth be in the club.
Fantastic.
And every once in a while, with notification, we would like to do, like, maybe even Saturday or Sunday. But like I said, we'll ask for that. Workouts.
It's going on. That's a good thing. I'm glad to have been telling people. So I'll be going there. Letter D, pottery making.
Yeah, like I said, so that's in progress right now. Right now it's the first firing they have going on. So they like cook it now, and then I don't know, you guys go paint it and then you cook it again or something. I don't know how it all works. I don't know how it
Yeah, no pun intended.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So like I said, we're not stopping that right now. In talking to man, what's her name?
Jess.
Yes. She is gonna look into doing a she called it like a soup kind of thing, a soup bowl thing or
Bowls?
something. And
Oh,
yeah,
empty bowls. Oh, that's
in November, the
Oh,
first week of
uh-huh.
November.
That's good.
So we're already starting to kind of put that together. So that'll be coming in the future as far as the pottery class goes. And there's a whole thing behind that I'm sure one of them can tell you a little bit more about it. So yeah, so that's in the making.
that's
Yeah,
good.
that's
Good
cool.
to hear.
It's a really
Yeah.
cool concept called empty bowls. They've
Mhm.
done it in Santa Maria with Hancock before, but it's essentially an opportunity for people to make bowls through pottery, but also the overarching mission is to be able to help like bridge the gap between food insecurity in the community and help to bring food resources and stuff. And they had found some limitations in Santa Maria. So in our class, Whitney and I were like, have you thought about us? And because she was talking about the inside, how beautiful our auditorium is. So that's really cool that she followed up on it. And it'd be
Yeah,
a great opportunity for people that don't come out here a lot to come experience all Guadalupe
yeah,
has to offer.
100%. And she was saying that it's related to or intertwined with the food bank process.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right. So, and then Santa Maria, they were getting charged a lot. They were doing it at some park out there, and it was like a huge fee. And I kind of hinted at the fact that with it being food bank related and that kind of stuff, like I don't foresee our council saying, "Yeah, we're going to charge you an arm and a leg." Our community seems to be very tight knit with the food bank process, so um, as long as we can support the people. She threw out some pretty large numbers over a couple days. But I think it's totally feasible. So that should be coming soon.
Oh, sounds great. Really, really happy to hear that too. Poetry jam. Poetry jam. Letter E.
Yeah, so with that, I don't know who was running that or
Beautiful.
oh, that was
Rufo.
straight, okay. Because I know that was going on before he started.
She was a
So
volunteer
okay.
before.
Okay, so
But I did see they are currently advertising that it's still happening tomorrow, I think, or Friday.
Friday.
okay. I'll have to look into that then.
It's Tuesday, right?
Yeah. I meant Thursday in my head, but yes. I wish it was Friday tomorrow. Yeah, but I have seen flyers go, must be some of the jammers, They have a big following, are advertising it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good to hear too. I might be able to go this week.
I haven't gotten yet, but always pick up.
No basketball this weekend, so
Oh.
maybe to go there. Um, we're gonna take a brief break. We could
Wait for the Giants rep.
Yeah, let me message him, see if he's still okay.
And any chance Boys and Girls Club provided any type of update for this month? Are they still coming to council? They're supposed to come. Right. So not this last meeting, but the meeting before, right after that, the council meeting, she came into the same presentation. Okay. So they did their quarterly, and then I think we just need to remind them. Or provide a monthly report. Yeah, I'm good if they just email it.
Yeah.
Cause I know they're really, I mean, they've been with the kids all day and I mean, it's a lot. I'm fine with email and then quarterly come, but I know they're busy.
Mike won't like that. He
wants
wants
them
here.
Yep,
I was gonna say.
I'm good
we
with that.
should- Let's move on to item number 6, Las Mujeres Park, the annual women honoring ceremony.
Okay. What day is that?
So this was on your guys's
Agenda.
last agenda, and then the last meeting was canceled, so I didn't know if you guys wanted to discuss this again
Sure.
or continue the discussion or whatever the case may be. Because even on the previous meetings that I watched, it didn't seem like you guys really hit it at all. So
I think the overall thought process of it was that when the park opened in conjunction with Women's History Month, there would be some sort of semblance of like a individual or maybe a couple individuals that were honored that year in like a symbolic fashion. I think this year, based on when Women's History Month fell versus when the park was opening, like it didn't make sense this year necessarily to honor because we just missed the month. But maybe as we go forward in future years, thinking more about what that might look like. But that was the overall idea when it initially came onto the agenda.
so when the park does open, do you want to still attack that in any kind of way? At least with like an honoring kind of thing
I think we should.
Yes.
Yeah.
versus the
That's what-
history part, but I mean, you can still do the honoring thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it would be nice.
Okay, so just a food for thought, the park is looking at completion August. And then there's gonna be like a 90-day maintenance period is what it's called. Where what's gonna end up happening is we're gonna open like half the park, and it's primarily gonna be like the skate park side, the dog park, the playground, so that we can keep most of the grass and basketball court, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff closed, so that everything can kind of start growing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that we don't ruin it right out the gate. So I don't know if you would want to wait until complete open or just a kind of general open, or how you guys would do that, and how you guys would also take
Yeah.
names or, source your kind of
So
who you want to honor.
on the complete open, when would that be?
So you're looking at like late fall, so probably somewhere around, I don't know, I'd say like
December.
Thanksgiving, probably somewhere around that time frame.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have it completely
Yeah,
open.
Yeah, let people go buck wild that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a teaser if you're like, hey, you can
Yeah.
come, but only halfway. Yeah, so we had a process, an application essentially that we had originally, I can pull that back out and send it to you, but it was like essentially just some general information about the community member, and there was no criteria that you had to be like necessarily a resident here, like say it was like a teacher that like did a lot of work with the school district or something that was as long as you were enhancing the community in some way. And then I can send you what we had previously, because we actually started with potentially naming the park after a person, but there was so many people that submitted that we couldn't narrow it down. And that's when we ended up on Las Mujeres. But we had a whole application already built that we could resurrect if that's something we want to use.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, why invent the wheel?
Yeah.
Anything, yeah.
So if you guys already have something kind of already in process, then, you know, we're getting ready to, we have our website being redone to make it a little bit more user friendly and stuff. So this would be like a great thing to kind of get that rec page kind of flashy a little bit, you know, and
Mhm.
just take nominations until, you know, you guys decide a time frame, and then that way we could probably start working on some kind of, you know, plaque thing, or, you know, however you guys want to do it. You know, so
Very good. All right. Any more questions, comments on the park? I know, it looks good. Things are still going. I like that. At this time, we're gonna check on Junior Giants. Have you heard anything from them?
he didn't respond, but I'll give you the information that I do have. So the way it went down is we had 59 people sign up.
Good.
Which equated to 5 teams and 5 different divisions. So no one division had a second team to play. So they took that to Santa Maria, and Santa Maria is willing to absorb those 5 teams. Notwithstanding the softball team, Santa Maria doesn't have a softball league. It's a softball t-ball, and Santa Maria doesn't have it. The boys teams, they will absorb. However, they will have to play in Santa Maria on Saturdays. But all practices and everything will still be held here in Guad. So we're not gonna the with us not having enough teams, we didn't have enough teams to play. We didn't get enough coaches. We didn't even have 5 coaches. So so they're having to source that as well. There was like 3 team volunteers, but nothing specific to coaching. So that will all be absorbed as well, you know, minus, you know, if anybody did actually specify coaching later, then that would be all right too. But
It's
they
hard
are
to
still,
get coaches.
I thought I
Yeah.
had a coach for baseball. I guess he didn't.
you know, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. They have like a whole packet for people that have never coached, and it gives you like a step-by-step, like, you know, do this much time for stretching, do these stretches, do this kind of stuff, and like a whole workout plan for, you know, learning how to field grounders and, you know, playing pepper and like all the whole thing. So they kind of have it set up for people that have never coached. So
That's good.
it would have been pretty cool. But and all the parents of the children should have received email notification as of last Friday with the updated information. So yeah, so they came and they're gonna start building the equipment bags and stuff here for, you know, the kids that still want to play. That, you know, I don't know if everybody's gonna want to commute on weekends to Santa Maria to go play, but the opportunity is still there.
It's too bad we couldn't get more students out there. I don't know if it had to do with advertising. I'm not sure if everybody heard about it, but it's something we got to think about too in the future. If we're getting to everybody, I'm sure there's got to be a lot more people out there.
Yeah, it's just like other stuff competing and stuff too. So, you know, the kids are doing baseball already, another leagues and basketball and all that.
I remember we had a volleyball tournament. Nobody came. I went around the corner. The school was packed with soccer people. Oh, that's where everybody's at. Okay. That place was packed. Oh, very good. Any more questions or comments on anything? Item number 7, request comments, meeting reports. Anybody else?
Any updates on the grant that was for the O'Connell Park?
No, nothing. I know it's still actively open, so I don't know if they're just waiting for closure before anything any word gets put out, but nothing so far.
I think, not necessarily to take us down a rabbit trail. And I know you're very gracious to be here with us tonight, filling in. And, thinking back on time, over the last 6 years. So these guys have been here longer than I have. I joined about 5.5, 6 years ago. And as I mentioned in my email, we've gone through Hannah, we've gone through Anise, we've gone through Tara, now gone through our NUFO. And I know that your snapshot in time is, fairly limited based on when you've been here with the city. So I don't expect you to have an answer to talk about all of those start and stops that we've had. But I did just want to bring up again, like really being very intentional on how we move forward. Because being very honest, when I got that message that we were like, okay, we got another one gone again, I really questioned if I wanted to remain involved with the commission, just because I really appreciate the work and the stuff that we've done, but it's hard to feel that we're making any type of progress. We've had multiple Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts, various different things. And I know that financially, the city obviously is in a tough spot, as a lot of cities are right now. And we absolutely have to think about what's financially solvent for our city and what's going to work. But I really, really challenge us as we move forward to be thinking about, like, what are the activities that we are going to continue to invest in? What are the things that should be a city function? What are the things that should be a school board or school function, boys and girls function? Because as Joe mentioned, there's a lot of times we're hosting something and someone else is hosting something at the same time, and we don't have money to lose at this point. It was very powerful to hear the seniors here tonight and talking about that being a very critical resource gap in our local community. But I just think as we go forward, and when that rec position was originally started, it was never intended to be a full-time position forever. So when it was voted on by City Council back in 2021, it was a short-term ARPA position with no intent to continue to fund it past those 2 years. And so I wasn't sure if there was any insight, not speaking to the employee specific information, but just giving us a better idea of like how we got to present day and how we can help us move forward, because we are very committed. We really care about the city and the work that we're doing. But it is very disheartening to feel like we've seen multiple people come and go that have been very invested, at least on the outside of their positions, and feeling that it reflects negatively on the recreation department. And it does reflect negatively on behalf of the city as well. So I feel like I had a lot to say about that, but I would really love, both from my other commissioners and from you as well, like any insight you can provide us on how we got to where we're at, and more specifically, like how do we move forward from here?
Who wants to go first?
You do.
Okay. Okay. So based on the city's financial situation alone, we're looking 18-24 months minimum before we can try to even attempt to hire that position again, part-time or otherwise. Mm-hmm. Like you said, that position, since Mr. Estabillo held that position has been kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. And then it saw light again with ARPA. Mm-hmm. Right. And you nailed it right on the money. That position was an ARPA funded specific timeframe position. Yeah. That the city rolled over to try to keep. And this is where we are now. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the financial status was back then that made them think that they could keep it, or if it was just to try to help the community. Yeah. Which would probably be my guess, that, in hopes that, we can get somebody in here, we'll get good things going, and then maybe we'll just kind of ride the train, right? Unfortunately, train broke, so we can't continue that process anymore. One thing that we can do and is on the agenda is to actively look for grants so that we can at least hopefully keep that position part-time. Maybe not a recreation manager, but a recreation coordinator that can come in three times a week, do a weekend thing, something to kind of keep some kind of activities going. But to say that it's going to happen soon is, that would be a lie.
No, I'm definitely not pressing you to say it's
Yeah,
gonna be
so,
soon. I'm just saying like,
Just
and
wondering if
yeah, I think
this
this.
information.
I don't want to I don't want to give you guys false hope that we're going to fix this like
Right.
soon.
Mhm.
Just the city as a whole, looking at our financial status and our plan forward, we're looking at a 3, 5, 7-year plan
Mhm.
to kind of get out of our deficit. What hits us different than somewhere like Santa Maria is retail,
Yeah.
grocery stores, different things like that. If Pasadena was fully up and that frontage road was going, and we could start getting some kind of outdoor market style promenades kind of thing or something to increase our revenue, then heck yeah, man, we could start getting some stuff going pretty quick. But we just don't have that. And to try to entice businesses to come here when our boundaries are so small,
Yeah.
a lot of things aren't even going to fall within city limits if they even do make it out this way. It would have been great to steal Amazon from Santa Maria, but where are they going to go? It
Yeah.
would be county property regardless, so it wouldn't even benefit us.
Mhm.
So we're faced with those kind of challenges. So we just have to tweak and cut where we can. Unfortunately, almost everything falls in the general fund.
Yeah.
So it's all recreation, it's police, it's fire, it's administration, it's everything is, general fund. So, we're in the shadows trying to figure things out, but I think it's gonna be, if anything goes forward recreation wise in the city, it's gonna be on your guys' back. Because one, you guys know what the city wants, you guys are actively involved. You guys are seeing the sports, the volleyball, the martial arts, the cheer, everything, you guys are hitting like every gambit of recreation, right? And all we can do is try to find ways that we can support you.
Yeah.
So I would say like our roles are almost going to reverse. It's almost going to be like, what can the city do to support you versus how can we work together for you guys to support us, which is, I think, the way it's kind of been.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really it should be like, how can we support you? You guys are doing, martial arts. You guys need the gym. Let's see, when can we get it for you?
No,
What
and
can
I
we do to
appreciate
the
that.
field to
Yeah.
get it going so that you guys can play your ball out there, get the football going and not have to worry about injuries or anything like that,
Mhm.
That's the big push for that grant for that park anyways. But realistically, if we were to get awarded that grant today, we couldn't fund that grant. We don't have the revolving cash to actively work on that grant.
Mm.
So
What's the current status with the grant company that would previously provide the monthly letter? Because I used to write quite a few grants with that individual, but the relationship seemed very odd, I guess.
yeah, so we are no longer with that same one.
Okay.
We went to a different one that is going to do a lot of, because we're not hiring a grant administrator either.
Mhm.
So we got rid of that part. So we found a company that will do all the administration process. So they'll find, they'll write, they'll monitor, they'll report, reimburse. So they're doing the whole gambit. So, taking away, we still are kind of filling some redundancies within the city because, when you're talking about city money, you don't really want to let go of everything,
Mhm.
But they seem like they're very up on it.
Would you be open to providing an introduction between me and them? Because before I used to get the monthly letter and then I'd work with the towns company, I think was the prior company. And then I probably submitted maybe 4 or 5 grants working with them, but I'd be willing to volunteer in that writing capacity again, if that's something you'd be open to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not a secret, I mean, we don't want everybody in the city hitting them up, but you guys for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I would be just specifically targeting on the rec side of stuff because that's you know, where
Back hurt.
we need, but, and then, you know, the other thing, you know, actually, let me pause there. You guys talk before I ask this next question.
I was listening to you, so like, pretty much everything. Yeah, it's good.
I think it's very informative. I think you provided a lot of insight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now we know where we stand, where we're going, what we're gonna do, and continue doing what we're doing.
I was wondering or I guess my next question, I won't say it's my last, but my next question, I think one of our biggest struggles has been getting all the stakeholders. I mean, it's a small city, but there are, you know, various different groups that really do control the narrative of broader recreation. So Boys and Girls Club, the school district, the city, and it seems like there's been ebb and flows of positive and negative relationships as individuals and personalities have evolved over the years. Is there plans to bring everybody back to the table and really understand, like, where do they see their role in rec and where do we see our role in rec? And where can we support each other?
So I haven't got quite that far. My biggest concern was getting at least one of these meetings down and seeing where your guys' minds are, and then moving forward. Just on the outside of the rec community looking in, there is a dire need to get the boys and girls, the school, and you guys all together.
Yes.
For one, it's redundant programs.
Mhm.
You know, why would the rec commission put on a dance when the school's doing the dance?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
some things seem like school functions versus the city just trying to get community together.
Yeah.
It's like the school should be participating in some
Mhm.
sense, right? Especially everybody knows when you're in school, you go to dances. You know,
Yeah.
that's what the school's for. You know, different things like that, right? And then the Boys and Girls Club, I feel like they're not as proactive as they should be. And maybe I'm just ignorant to what activities they actually hold there. But I mean, they have a gym, they have, you know, it's a low ceiling gym, a gym that would be perfect for martial arts, you know, things like that, you know. And then they have their educational rooms and they have like a little teaching kitchen and just different things in there. So, you know, how active are they actually in the process for anything other than almost, you know, babysitting?
Mhm.
You know, because yeah, it's a great thing for after school for parents to send their kids, but you know, what else could they be doing, you know?
Yeah.
And, or do they even have the
Well, like-
capacity to do it?
Like
Mhm.
in other cities, you know, the boys and girls they have, you know, they do have like boxing and wrestling, and
Yeah.
they have more.
Commercials.
Yeah, so, I'm sure that the more people get involved over there and they get more funding, so
Mhm.
I'm sure it's something
Yeah,
they
and I
they
mean,
would
it's
want.
not like I mean, I won't throw them under a bus, but it's not like they're paying a lot for rent,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm,
So
exactly.
That was a piece when we were originally writing the MOU with them, that the commission was very strongly advocating for, is that where we were at pre their reopening was that we didn't want to fall back into what I would categorize as bad habits. So no communication, potentially things that need to be like discussed, months would go by. And so I do believe it was actually written into their MOU to improve communication. But I think that might be something we want to think about as we go forward, is like, how could we become more strategic in our communication where there's all these little pockets of rec, but if it's not one solid voice, then it's Boys and Girls Clubs doing this and schools doing this and the city did this, but nobody really knows about it. And so just trying to bring everybody to the table to find out like what our funding streams are in those areas, where can we support each other, and just recognizing there is a strong need for rec in our community, but it is largely on the backs of volunteers.
Mhm.
I'm looking right here. These guys are, but all of us are putting in, you know, well over, you know, 20, 30, 40 hours during our seasons just to keep these programs up. But we need more people
Right.
to be involved and understanding, like, if you want better, be the person that steps up and helps out in whatever capacity you're able. I think, you know, it's exciting to hear that we're going to have a more active piece, because I think, at least from my perspective, over the last couple of years, we've made a lot of recommendations, but there wasn't a lot of cross flow of what we were doing up to city council. I mean, Whitney's here as our tech person and our honorary member of the rec commission, but outside of her coming to these meetings, we don't really have a lot of interface with city council, and not saying that that should or shouldn't happen, but I do think that we should be viewed as an asset to assist city council in educating on what the current recreation needs may be. And then also just trying to look back on the last 5 individuals that have held that position as the rec manager. While none of them were intertwined, none of them knew each other, all of them expressed similar frustrations during the course of their tenure of not necessarily feeling that they were being heard in the process of how recreation was being administered in the city. So as we might think about even bringing on a very part-time person in the future, if it gets to that point, I would really, really challenge us to look internally to make sure that that pattern doesn't repeat again, because the first time, the second time, even the third time, I'm like, okay, but as we're getting into the 4th and 5th, and none of them that had any crossover all had the exact same commentary, really makes me wonder, like, what do we need to do different to make sure we move things forward at some point?
And try to keep moving forward. Yes.
I'd love to see the seniors get a birthday cake.
And water.
And yeah. And I mean, is that something, I know we have our nonprofit, you know, this essentially the city does, is that a funded need that if a community member says, I would like to sponsor the birthday cake of January for the seniors, we could have that? Like, is that something we could ever try to get up and going with is the nonprofit still a thing? Maybe I should ask that question first.
For the seniors?
The one that Michael was
Yeah,
involved in.
it's still a thing.
Mhm.
Okay. What's their current like focus or vision on that?
Man, it's kind of all over the place. So right now they're almost just a fiscal sponsor.
Okay.
So kind of accepting donations for various things going on within the city. Such as like the baseball field, like they accepted all the donations for that so that that can get completed. The theater, of course, the little beautification projects that have gone on, you know, like all the
Mhm.
planners out in
Those
front of
planners
Memphis
out
and
in
stuff like that.
Yes, yes, like the sidewalks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we know when the sidewalks are going to be done?
By September, I think they should be
Looks like
the
they-
east
yeah.
and west side.
They're moving along.
Yeah.
At this time, any more questions or comments?
I will not be here during the month of July. Just putting that out there.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
I'm going to Oregon this year, so I will not be here for that, but I will be back in August. Yes.
I looked at my email. I don't know if I got an email about this meeting today.
I understand there was a basketball tournament at Jacocona Park on Sunday.
Okay, so I think you guys got some emails you weren't supposed to get.
That's what I thought.
So you could kind of ignore those. Yeah,
No, no.
I was like, really?
yeah, that was
I enjoyed it. Yeah, that one.
yeah, that was an accident, I think. But yeah, they've been having like
Yeah,
like unauthorized basketball tournaments,
Oh,
like pulling
Mhm.
food trucks up on the grass and everything. Yeah, they've been getting down out there.
yeah. I've been out there. Holy smoke!
Yeah,
A lot of people.
God, I didn't know about this.
yeah, yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Oops.
Yes. Interesting. Well, we have nothing else to discuss. I'm looking for a motion of adjournment. The motion, I need a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is now adjourned. I want to thank you for inviting us into your household this evening. It's all about recreation. Good night. Thank you.